What's up, hobby friends, and welcome back to Paint Bravely, the podcast where you can find a little bit of encouragement, discover new ways to make your hobby more fun, and most importantly, learn to paint bravely. Alright, we got some cool updated convention news. We got Custodes Watch. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and lots of other fun, exciting hobby topics. So, Brent, why don't you start us off? See, how's Huzzah been going?
Yeah, I'm coming to you live from Huzzah. That is a local convention in Portland, Maine. The Maine Historical Wargamers Association puts it on. And there's a couple hundred attendees at a local Hilton hotel. And yeah, it's a 3-day convention, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today's Friday that we're recording, and so I got my first day in. And who knows what the future holds, but I picked myself up a game. I played a demo game of Trilaterum.
That sounds huge and epic.
It is a 15mm sci-fi battles on the edge of the universe.
Small and epic. I see.
Small and epic. Yeah, it's a kind of a local game. There's the guy's out of New Hampshire, I think. And he does all the manufacturing himself in that he's got 3D printers running 24/7 in his basement. And so it's a bunch of 3D printed minis. They're all 15mm scale. He's got humans and space bears. You got your space lizards, your space bugs. Let me think. I think there were some robots. I'm definitely remembering some robots. There were space birds. I mentioned the space reptiles already. There's space orcs. They're called the Binocs.
Binocs, okay. It sounds like all the space stuff. A lot of animals and different things.
There's a lot of cuties in there.
Are the birds are birds? They're not like robot birds?
They're like owls riding other birds. No, the owls stand on their own, but you got like crows riding like emus.
Okay.
Not the right word. Emu might be the right word, yeah.
It's either one or the other.
Well, you got emus, you got ostriches, and for a second I thought I was conflating emus and llamas have another one.
Yeah.
Alpacas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're the other ones that have the other ones. I see what you mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You get it.
I completely understand.
That's why we're friends. Yeah. Let us know in the web zone if you've ever confused an emu with a llama. Or an alpaca. Yeah. Or if you've ever painted an emu or a llama. Or an alpaca.
It's possible. The llamas, right? Right, it's like a prize llama? Or is it was a prize alpaca? From like
Welcome to episode 110 of Paint Bravely the podcast. I don't know if this is trending in a good direction or not, but thank you for listening for the first several minutes of this attempt at entertainment content.
Well, I was going to go even further and be like, well, which one's the other one between the emu? You know what I mean? Like,
Ostrich is the main one, emu's the cheap knockoff, llama's the main one, alpaca's the cheap knockoff.
Is it though? Because I feel like more people own the other one of both of those.
Because the other one, the cheap knockoff. Yeah, more people own a Hyundai. Yeah.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. See,
and more people should own a Trilaterum.
That's true. 15mm space things. I mean, 15 mil is a really good scale. It is one of my favorite scales to paint. Because you can do a lot of work in like no time. Man, like a few colors and you're done with an army and it looks decent. Yeah, the demo game was looking real good. It's a lot of stands. They call them stands where you glue multiple models onto one base, basically. And so it was normally like 3 models on one base represented a squad. And it looked good. The bases are, 2 inches by 2 inches, and then 3 little cuties on the base. And man, I had to buy in, partially because it was really affordable compared to what we have conditioned ourselves to. That's a good point, yeah.
It's like, $30 for what they're calling an army. I think it was like 5 or 6 units of these little guys. and it's wonderfully home brewed. Like the army box is more of an army plastic bag, and the plastic bag I bought, look, with apologies to Timothy, the plastic bag I bought clearly had a chocolate milkshake spilled on it. Wonderful. That's the flavor I want out of my games.
The most indie of indie games, like coming from his car, you know. Like, gotta sell you this army.
He had a couple copies of this army box on the display. I'm like, no, I'll take the most janky one. This is gonna look funny on the camera.
Yeah.
But no, the little starter box has actually 2 armies in it: humans versus the space lizards. And it's got a little rule book, and it's got dice and everything for $35. And actually, for those of you watching on the web zone here, the starter box looks pretty good.
The box looks good.
Yeah, it's a nicely printed cardboard box with no chocolate milkshake on it at all, and it, rule book and game aids. There's even a measuring tape in there that said Trilaterum on it. And got 2 starter armies. Not bad. So
not at all.
That's what I'm up to. Trilaterum.
It's not bad at all. I mean, you played a demo game. Was there anything that in particular that stood out, or is it like very war game on a small scale?
I mean, a lot of it was war game. You got your movement, you rolled a hit and you rolled a wound, sort of thing. The one interesting mechanic was a little bit like plasma weapons in Warhammer 40k. There's the option to kind of keep shooting. Yeah. And so if you roll 8 to hit dice or something, and if you get like 5 hits, you are allowed to keep re-rolling your hits as many times as you want.
Exploding dice, yes.
Yeah, it's basically exploding dice. And the caveat is, if you roll on those rapid fire re-rolls, if you roll a 1, it's a D8 system, so it's a little less likely you'll roll 1. But if you roll a 1, then it's kind of like a misfire table. And then you like roll on the misfire table, and it could just be like, no, you're fine. But it could be like you did friendly fire and all of the hits you just got go to like the nearest friendly unit. Or there's one exploding ammunition where you just, you basically do the damage to the unit that was doing the firing. There's one where you just like, you blew yourself up, you take your unit off. But yeah, so that was an interesting mechanic of just like, how far do you want to push your luck? Because you could get a lot of hits in a single round of shooting. Yeah. But there's a cost. Yeah.
Right, you could blow yourself up. That's nice, like a nice push your luck mechanic in there. That's always good. That kind of makes me think, though, are there any games where like you purposely want to roll bad? Like, what I'm thinking is, just in terms of a game, like take the same idea, and I don't know, for some reason or another, maybe you're trying to destroy yourself somehow, and it's about pushing your luck as much as possible, and then you blow yourself up. I don't know why that would be a game. It just sounds like a fun game.
We got a new game brewing over here at Paint Bravely, the podcast.
Yeah. We're gonna call it a misfire. Yeah.
Dilaterum.
There you go.
Nobody take that name. It's ours now. Dilaterum.
I've already got the URL.
Yeah.
I already bought it.
You push your luck, and the whole object is to get a misfire on your sweet guns and blow up your space emus.
Yeah.
We should leave this topic behind.
I think you're right.
All right, Casey, you got us into this. You got to get us out of this. Where are we going next?
Oh, I can talk about some stuff. I definitely can. I got some stuff, I think. So I've been painting a bunch of no, I haven't been painting orcs. That's a lie.
You've been painting binocs?
Old-faced lie. Definitely not. No, I'm trying to say, Skaven. I was trying to say like space rats, because space rats are really what I want. But so obviously Games Workshop putting out the new Age of Sigmar. Actually, I think the new box just dropped today, or the preview for it or whatever. It looks pretty good. Like, new AOS is looking decent. I don't know if it'll play decent, but the models look good.
Rest in peace, Dominion box.
Yeah, basically, this is the most sunset on Dominion that we can get, and I don't even know what price we're at anymore. But in terms of like a new Dominion, if this does the same thing, I would be more than happy for that to happen, because it's a nice looking box. Point is, whatever, a couple weeks ago, a month ago, they said, oh, we're going to get rid of all these units. And one of those were the Warplock Giselles for the Skaven, which I got a really good deal on a few years ago. I bought 9 units for $20. And if you know anything about those, even used right now, they're like $25 minimum for one. So I just made out huge on this thing. And I made a video about it like 5 years ago, and I just never painted any of them. And that's been something I've regretted for a while. So I decided to start painting them again. So I got them all prepped, and I cleaned them. I put them all in acetone, did this whole thing, kind of in preparation for this new box that's coming out that who knows may or may not get, depending on the level of Dominion that it is. But I ended up also kind of saying, well, I'm going to hedge my bet a little bit. If they're not going to re-release all of the models, I might as well go really hard into one-page rules and print out every single rat that they make. And so I started doing that, and I've printed out a good amount of them, which I think will now be like my third full one-page rules army that I've printed. I've just been going hard on the 3D print. I've gone through like 3 large bottles of resin in the last week. It's been nonstop. Some of these prints are like 9 hours long too. Huge prints. But it's been good. Yeah. But the actual the quality too, I've been printing them at like a lower layer height than normal. So like they look very nice. Like layer lines are basically invisible. And I've gotten them to that real sweet spot where you prime all the minis, and then you give them the zenithal, and then you put them in the case, right? So they're ready to paint whenever I want. I can just go to the case and say, I want to paint this model, and I don't even have to think about it. I can just start painting it. So that's mostly what I've been up to. There's a lot of rats.
Well, that's pretty good. Gets you in the mood. Yeah. Just leaving the rats aside for just a moment, I did a quick eBay search, and it looks like that there's a going rate for Age of Sigmar Dominion for $115. Buy it now, free shipping.
Interesting.
But but I am seeing a listing. $99.99. Buy it now, free shipping. Games Workshop Age of Sigmar Dominion from Sri Lanka.
Okay.
And I've been known to do dumb things with my money before. Can you say you've gotten a Dominion box from Sri Lanka? Can you say that you've taken the risk to see if you might get a Dominion box for half of the original MSRP?
I mean, I feel like I've taken that risk and gotten a box for half the price without having to order from a country that I don't know if that person is if they even have that box.
Gotta spend big to live big, my friend. You gotta.
Yeah.
A true warrior would jump on this chance.
Yeah, true warrior would do that.
Look, if you're listening to this podcast on Monday and you go to eBay to try to jump on this opportunity and that listing from Sri Lanka is not there anymore, you know what happened.
Then Brent just gave $100 to some dude in Sri Lanka who's having a real good day.
Yeah, but it probably means Brent also had a few beers, so that's pretty good too.
That's also possible. Either way, it was a good time. Yeah.
Good time. I'm sorry. Get back to your rats. What were you saying about rats?
I mean, I was mostly wrapped up on the rats. I'm just having a good time with rats because rats are really fun to paint in general. Like, they're good. I can't do it. Don't order that, okay? Don't do it. That's a bad idea.
Why would eBay put this at the top of the search results? I don't understand.
Because you can pay an extra 15 cents to be like, to rank higher in the search. There's like sponsored things you can pay to have the pictures up.
Yeah,
you
it
can
does say
literally
sponsored,
pay more
doesn't
money.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, don't buy it. That's even worse. That they're even spending money to make sure that you spend money. Don't do it. I think, in all honesty, I think the best price still is like $110 that I've seen. Like occasionally,
sure.
What was the low on that? We got like $85. Some dude had like 10 boxes.
I think I actually bought one at 94. I'm pretty sure I bought one at 94.
94 is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Look, we're gonna get into Age of Sigmar 4 and 5 will be here before we know it.
In 3 years.
Hopefully we'll live to see 6 and 7. Yeah, but we're gonna keep following these sealed product Dominion boxes.
I mean, we kind of have to. Yeah. I mean, with Dominion it set some precedents, right? Yeah. Like these starter boxes are a whole thing. Not that they haven't been in the past, but that one was that's a special time. Yeah. The last 3 years have been too good, Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna get this time. And the box that's coming this time, the Skaven Blight or whatever it is, it has a lot more models. It has a lot more stuff inside, and I'm pretty sure the price is already $50 higher. The MSRP is $50 higher than the Dominion box. So I don't know where we're gonna get there.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, we don't know. You sit on your copies of Dominion. We don't know if there's going to be an Amazon series where Henry Cavill stars as a pot grot and just the prices on that model are just going to skyrocket. And
I mean, if he was going to star in anything, that would be the thing to do.
Probably be a pot grot. Yeah.
Just go that route, the lowliest route you can go. Really view it from a different angle. Not the Chad Space Marine angle. We don't want any of that. We want the deep underground, like from the side view. We don't want to see anything. That's what I want to see Henry Cavill do. Yeah.
We got a Custodes update here. We did our Dominion update, and now we got our Custodes update. It's been 5 weeks since one of the 20 armies in Warhammer 40k went co-ed, and the angry nerds have mostly moved on to being angry about a black character in Assassin's Creed. So, the pressure's off a little bit now. This is the way of the world. But so I painted 10 Custodes and I put lady heads on 8 of them from Keta Minis 3D prints, and it turned out pretty well. Put out a video. And the video was all about like the calming effect of painting. Paired that up with female Custodes just to see what that might bait out. If anyone would kind of raise their hand and ask to go to timeout. But I was pleasantly surprised. Where I'm going with this is like I was really pleasantly surprised with the comment section on that video. So thanks for anyone who watched that and was a mature adult and civil and cool and kind. That's awesome. Appreciate you. There's still a lot of very good people in this hobby, and it appears to be the case that a lot of the angriest nerd rage really isn't in the hobby. So
no, and I mean I gotta think that that's a majority of the angry nerd rage in general. It's like these people who really are just loud. They're just very loud. Because, I mean, I don't know anybody who would actually care about something like that. Like, really? Does it really affect you in any actual way? No. Because I mean, if you don't want to paint the lady heads, you don't have to. If that's really what it is.
That's right.
You don't have to.
That's right. So I feel good that Custodes watch. I mean, we'll check in on it if anything happens, but we're 5 weeks out. I put out a video painting Lady Custodes, and we still got a few turd nuggets in the comment section, but in the scheme of things, not too bad. Like I had a few people posting their Amazon DEI conspiracy theories, but like the phrase Henry Cavill was not mentioned anywhere in there, so that's pretty good. He's off doing his pot grot pre-production.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just
you gotta leave him alone. You gotta let him make the masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to bother that guy.
Henry Cavill stars in Dominion.
Yeah.
So okay, we could probably move on from that news item. What else do we got?
I ended up buying the game Necromolds.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been really excited about this. I've seen it for a long time. Like, it's been, 3 or 4 years now? The Kickstarter went off, and it looks like a sweet game. Like, it's a miniature war game on a board, but you cast your miniatures. I mean, in air quotes, cast your miniatures. You put them in a Play-Doh mold, and you squish them, and then out comes an actual, like, fantasy guy instead of a dumb, like, a horse or something, or a cupcake, whatever the Play-Doh things are these days. Anyways, so you build your little guys, and then you play the game with them, and then, like, when they die or whatever, you have this big ring with, like, a stamp in it for, like, a wax or whatever, wax seal stamp, and you smush them on the board, and they stay there, and they're dead. And it just looks really cool. I mean, the way that it's advertised is like this kind of old early 90s, creepy crawlers, mad scientist type thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it just has that vibe to it. And it also has like a really kid-friendly rule set. So there's like a normal rule set and then a kid-friendly like 7 and under rule set. And I happen to have kids who are 7 and under, and I happen to have a crap ton of Play-Doh. Basically all the time. Like, Play-Doh is just everywhere in my house. So I finally went for it. They were in stock. He sent out an email, and I bought into it. So I'm really excited to get it. I haven't actually gotten it in the mail yet, but it should be here at least before the next episode of Paint Bravely. So hoping to get at least a game in, see how it goes.
It looks really cool. They call them molds for the little characters' spell books. Okay. And so it's like a little plastic book that opens up like a clamshell, and you put the Play-Doh in, and it's just 2 sides of a mold, and you close the book, and it squishes the Play-Doh into the shape of the little mini, and you pull it out, and you got your Play-Doh mini, and it looks like a traditional war game with Play-Doh, and it looks cool. And I've talked to the creator a few times, and it's such a cool idea, but I don't know how to feature it on Goobertown Hobbies, so I guess every once in a while we'll say nice things about it on Paint Bravely the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, but you have children.
Yeah, I have kids, right? So it's like I'm going to play it. Yeah. Well, it's not like you could paint the models, though, so I mean,
you could green stuff it, and then cast a green stuff model, or cast it out of Super Sculpey and then bake the Super Sculpey clay, and you could use those molds to make actual models to paint them, but kind of defeats the point, I think.
I mean, of the game, yes. Like, you can't squish them to death. Like, that feels like the very exciting part of that game. Like, I got you, and squish, and just destroy your model. Like, yeah, it sounds pretty satisfying. Yeah. I can't wait to squish all my 7-year-old's models and be like, I've been playing war games since before you were born, son. Yeah, it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Really gotta
you activated the wrong character.
Yeah.
Do a quick plug here. A little recommendation for a video from This Mini Sucks. He got the metal molder, which is apparently an old '90s product from the company that made creepy crawlers.
Oh no!
And it is a device sold to children.
Yeah,
that has an Did you really?
I had one. Yeah, I got it for Christmas when it came out.
You describe it then. You describe it.
So okay, you didn't get one?
I've never had this. No, I saw that. I saw this for the very first time on the channel. This mini sucks, and I was shocked that this had been sold to children.
I mean, I am too, but I also used it, and I ran out of all the goo. And to be fair, I never burnt myself too terribly. Okay.
The metal molder.
Yeah, so it was basically like a little oven. Right, had a tray that you could slide things in. It had a little door, so you couldn't put your fingers in it while it was getting hot or whatever. But it was essentially a metal mold of a bunch of there was a worm and a spider and like a beetle or whatever. And you would take this goo that was in these bottles, and you would squeeze them into the molds with whatever colors you wanted. You can mix and match, and then you would slide it into the tray for 15-20 minutes, and it would cook that goo, and it would become rubbery.
You're talking about creepy crawlers.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm talking about the metal molder, which is molten metal.
It's casting
it's like casting like pewter minis.
Okay, I have seen
These are both dangerous.
Yes. Well, just because you were saying the metal, I thought you meant the actual literal metal mold of the creepy crawly things.
Oh,
Since
I see.
I mentioned that, so it was on my mind. But yeah, I mean, even with that, because I know what you're talking about with the actual, you're pouring metal into the thing.
Yeah, it's like you heat up pellets of, I don't know what kind of white metal it is, but you're heating up pellets of metal, getting molten metal, pouring that into a mold. And there was, I don't know, there was like a little cannon, and there was a wizard and stuff like that. But he read he started reading the instruction manual, and one of the first lines is go find an adult and have them plug this in for you. And if a child came to me and said, "Will you plug this in?" I'm just like, nope, no. Let's heat up that with a 10-foot stick.
Molten pieces of metal and pour it into them. Just hope that doesn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
You pour that on the carpet, your carpet's going to catch on fire.
Yeah, I would confiscate that from that child, but then I would get curious and I would play with it, and I would burn my thumbs.
Yes. At least that seems fine. That seems like maybe that's really what it was, is the kid wanted the thing, and dad was like, I want to melt some metal down, and that was how it was marketed or something. Who knows? Actually, Geek Gaming Luke, did a video about that on his channel. He got some of the molds from the guy, I think, who made them.
I thought it was like Perry Miniatures or something. It was a different company. Luke, the one Luke did, I'm pretty sure was a different company, but it was also cool. It was for home maybe it wasn't Perry Miniatures, but it was for homemade metal minis. But that was more aimed at hobbyists. This one, the metal molder was very clearly a commercial that came on after Creepy Crawlers.
Oh man, if I had seen that, I probably would have gone for it.
For sure.
I asked for the multicolored goo, but it came with a metal mold that you poured it into, and had to cook it, and that thing was real hot when it came out. It's not safe.
And they looked like gummy bears or whatever, like gummy worms. Yeah. Not safe. Not safe.
No. I used to, so I ran out of the black color real fast.
Okay.
Because what I would do is I would make a bunch of the spiders, and I would put a little red dot right in the middle, and then I would put them in cupboards and stuff around the house, and for years scare the crap out of my mom. She thought they were, spider, the Black Widow or something, but she thought they were real. I mean, they're super small, and I guess you could think that they were real if you didn't really realize they were there.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny though.
It's a lot to think about. And it just makes me think of the cornballer from Arrested Development, just a very dangerous device that's better at hurting the users than producing anything of value. But I'm glad you had some good memories with Creepy Crawlers. Yeah, that's
I think there's
wonderful.
still some at my parents' house, laying around. I have to imagine. I wonder if that thing is even still there. might have to look for it, and if I can at least find the mold, like that might be useful. I could shove some green stuff in that and make some cool spiders.
You could do some green stuff, or just do a resin pour. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would probably do it.
I kind of want to now. Now I gotta look.
That's wonderful.
Okay. Creepy crawlers bug maker on eBay. You can get the plastic molds for like $30.
Huh. Well, this is how YouTube videos are made, you know?
That's actually true.
He's rescuing some creepy crawlers off of eBay right now.
I'm looking at. Oh, there we go. $40 for the whole thing with the metal molds. Oh yes.
That goo is not going to be any good.
Oh no, I wouldn't use goo. I'd definitely use either molten metal or resin. Definitely resin.
Yep.
This looks good. It has the goo in it too. Doesn't look good, but it's there. The original creepy crawlers. $40. All right. Buy it now. Done.
From Sri Lanka. Yeah. Did you just hit the button?
Missouri. No, I didn't actually hit the button. That would be a thing. I kind of want
Sometimes you just hear Casey like muttering, "Buy it now."
Yeah, buy it.
Buy it now. Okay. Expedite.
Oh man, like
combined shipping.
Oh, the combined shipping. I almost never bother with combined shipping. Like I seriously cannot be bothered. I don't know. Like occasionally it'll be like, oh, it's an extra $1. Like I don't want to email. I'm not gonna do it.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
So I made a video about a bunch of wood elves, right? That I got from a lady and everything. And a few people have actually reached out, and they have some of the older, like original wood elves that they're going through and like gathering up. I mean, I'm probably going to buy them from them, but I've been looking for these things on eBay since kind of starting to collect those. I thought it was really cool. Like people are just like, oh, I've had these laying around for 30 years or whatever. Like, yeah, we'll make a deal, whatever. But I think it's pretty cool, and I'm gonna hopefully have some real funky looking old wood elves pretty soon.
Hey, you got a platform now, and you can put out the call.
Yeah.
Get the moot together. Yeah. That's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I wish you luck in your collection of finally making the dream army of one young Scott.
Yeah, and when I finally get there, I'm gonna say I rescued Scott's army. That's what I'm gonna do.
Ah, the perfect title.
Yeah, let's put his face in there, like, what? I mean, I think, to be fair, I think he has a full wood elf army. Like, I'm pretty sure he actually has that. So
yeah. He does.
and I think he got it when it was coming out, unlike me getting it secondhand 25 years later.
But hey, if you have wood elves and you're not going to paint them, and you want to, come to a deal with Casey for the express purpose of, rubbing it in Scott's face, like, hey, that's an option.
I mean, it's an option,
That's an option for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So we went through Trilaterum. We went through. I do have one more thing to say about my little Custodes project. I did a basing technique that I'd heard of before, but I never actually tried, and that is using the Granny Grate, like cross-stitch plastic grating from the craft store, and just use that as like steel grating from an industrial complex, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So take a base, glue down a little square of the grate to it, the cross-stitch grate to it, cut around the edges, paint it up. Now the fun part about this is I figured out that if you use nail clippers to kind of do the final rim around the base, It actually, the curvature of nail clippers is close enough to the curvature of a base that it actually looks like a really nice circle. Glue a square of the grating down to the top of the base. I cut off the big corners with scissors, and then just go around with the nail clippers all the way around the base, and it looks like a pretty nice circle, like a a nice circle of grating on top. And got that primed black, there's a little dry brush of silver, dabbed on some sponge work of dark brown and brown red and orange. We got some rusty steel grating that you can glue some minis to. So yeah, that was very easy bases. I'd heard about that before. I never actually tried it. I'd bought the cross stitch supplies years and years ago, and they'd just been in a drawer for a while, but it was time. It was time.
Oh. I mean, they did look good, and
it looked all right.
They look like grating, and I was a little more than surprised because I watched that part of the video. I saw that, and you're busting out the nail clippers, and I mean it looks like a pretty perfect circle that was cut.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
not bad. I bet that the manicure specialists have like different kinds of nail clippers. I bet you can get them in like slightly different curvatures, or maybe just different brands have slightly different curvatures. But it would be funny if you just had like the perfect nail clippers for 25 millimeter, 32, 40, 50.
just exactly the right.
Each size of base, you just have neatly lined up. Maybe you have like the pegboard, in your basement like workshop. You have the pegboard. You have different
sizes of each one.
The little outline for where your hammers go, a little outline for where your saw goes, and everything. And then just neatly lined up next to all your different drill bits or whatever are just like 8 different nail clippers.
I like this. But I mean, do you cut anything else besides the Granny Grate? Are there different things? I guess there probably would be.
Probably any time when you're gluing something to a base and it's like sticking over the edge.
Yeah.
Like I bet if you were, putting down coffee stirrers or something to try to make wood planking, or who knows, man. There's a lot of things that'll just like stick over the edge of the base, and you want to just neaten them up around the edge.
The coffee stick stirrer thing would probably be pretty good.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into this.
Yeah,
they might get a little bit of like splitting or splintering of the actual wood just from the pressure of the nail clippers, but maybe you buy really good nail clippers. Yeah,
like the salon quality, like you're saying, real
not
top
the
notch.
50-cent ones I've been using.
Those jobbies that are no better than biting your nails. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the good stuff.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
But I did get some comments. I just want to prepare people. I got some comments saying like I've had a really hard time getting the grate to stick. Like something about the type of plastic just doesn't take glue well, apparently. And I had a pretty good experience with it, but I had multiple people in the comments say I've had a hard time getting that plastic grating to adhere properly. So, hey, we'll see how it lasts over time, but I used a decent amount of super glue, and it worked.
Yeah. I mean, I think the easy button solution is to use CA glue activator. You probably won't have a problem.
Perhaps, or, get some coarse sandpaper, scrape up the bottom side of the Granny Grate. Maybe that'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would help for sure. Man, I feel like anymore, because I've used so much activator, like doing conversions and resin and all this stuff that needs super glue, like literally waiting for super glue to dry feels like it just takes too long. I'm like, no, I gotta hold it there and get that activator in there. We're just gonna speed this process up even more than it's already fast. I can't do it without it now. It's terrible.
Well, if you make a lot of bases at once, by the time you're done with the last one, the first one will be dry, and then you can pull out your nail clippers, and that's why you gotta batch them out.
I mean, that makes sense. You're doing a whole army of bases. You might as well.
Might as well.
Yeah. And actually, I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm just thinking about it now, though. You put some like sand in between those grates a little, you get some texture in there, some rocks poking out or something. Barbed wire off the edges. Do they come in different scales of grading, or is it all the bigger squares?
They're pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can get grading in different scales. I mean, you could just go and get like a bug screen if you wanted, or go to McMaster-Carr, which is a online hardware store. Go to McMaster-Carr.com and search steel grates and get whatever coarseness you want. Yeah.
All right. That does sound good, though.
There's a certain joy of just going to the craft store and buying a giant pack of cross-stitch supplies for what appears to be a low price, and knowing that you're gonna use it in a unholy way that's so much cooler than your Aunt Beatrice would have used it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've seen some cool cross stitches, like I've seen people make like Pokemons and stuff. That's pretty cool. It's an art form. I'm not gonna.
No.
I take back any
but your Aunt
ill
Beatrice
will against the cross-stitching community. No.
Yeah.
It's not as cool as making a rusty grate for your minis to run across, but cross-stitch is pretty cool.
Back in 95, 96, whenever Spyro the Dragon came out for PS1, right? I went to my grandma's house, I should say. And I was there for a week, and her whole goal was, hey, you're here for a week. I'm going to teach you how to sew on a machine by hand. Because she does quilts and stuff real fancy, huge, and takes a really long time, a year or more to finish kind of things. And she taught me how to embroider. And I learned how to do a bunch of different things, and I embroidered a very nice looking Spyro the Dragon that is on a pillow somewhere. So
Respect.
Yeah, no, it's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah. Well, good. You'll have to pull that back out again someday.
When I have I'll embroider my name on my whatever work vest thing. Apron.
Or someday when I finish up my pirate ships for Blood and Plunder and I need the sweet designs on the sails, look, this all comes back around, Casey.
I feel like it does, honestly. More often than not, it's I need this particular skill. Well, I used to do something like that. Okay, let's do it. It's good. A lot of skills that you pick up, when you're younger, end up being hobby related. Pretty much every skill you have is hobby related in some way. Just, we should probably put together a list at some point.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But we covered cross-stitching, and embroidery, and personal hygiene today.
Did we?
Nail clippers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Wait, where else did we talk about personal hygiene?
Something off camera, I think, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Nail clippers. Don't bite your nails. Don't do that. use the good clippers.
I don't know what Casey is referring to, but
I don't know. It was a couple hours ago. I don't remember.
Okay, neither do I.
Yeah.
It's late at night, and I'm all hyped up from Huzzah. That's where we are.
You going back tomorrow, early?
Yeah.
8 in the morning?
Not 8 in the morning.
All right.
Not 8 in the morning. But I gotta be there at the crack of 1 p.m. to do some judging for a painting competition.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that sounds fun, though.
Yeah, it does sound fun. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time you hear this, the champion of Huzzah 2024 will be in the books.
I mean, I kind of have to ask. I feel like other people might want to anyway, so I'm just going to ask. But when they win the painting competition, or in particular a game, do they have to say huzzah?
I'm not sure if it's like in the rules, but they do every time. Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. All right,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to name your convention that, you gotta be saying it.
Now, I came back from Huzzah this afternoon, and I got back to work on painting my Joy Toy Space Marines. My like 8-inch tall Space Marine toys here. And I don't like painting action figures. Like, for years I've thought, that'd be cool to do someday. That'd be cool to paint an action figure. But it's not like you can mount this on a painting handle. Yeah. And so you're always just grabbing it by the legs. And whatever kind of plastic this is, like, doesn't have great adhesion to paint, even if it's like properly primed and everything.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, I'm getting all the paint from the legs on my hands. And I don't know. I'm sure the people who do this more often have a whole system with like a lazy Susan turntable, and you can like prop it up right.
I mean, I can tell you what it is.
Okay, tell me. Yeah,
I do have some experience with painting some G.I. Joes. So if you boil your model, not for very long, you just heat them up, then you can pop the joints right out.
Okay.
And then you heat them up with a hairdryer or something, and you can pop them back in after you've painted them. So you can mount them, you can pin them, whatever, and then paint them like
so that. So it's a sub-assembly.
Yeah, it's all sub-assemblies.
Sub-assembly. Okay, okay.
Although in the case of the Space Marine, I mean, do you have like a 120 mil round or anything? Not that you can put that on a painting handle, but, you know, obviously you could probably hold it a little differently.
Yeah. What I was imagining is just a turntable, like a lazy Susan, and then I need like mounts to like grab them under their armpits or something. I need like
right, like that thing from Toy Story.
Maybe I don't have children, but like 2 banana holders, you know, like 2 banana holders, just one under each armpit, and that'll just hold them immobile, and you can just go around and paint them. But yeah. We talked about 15 millimeter models. We're talking about big old action figures now. Different skills, man.
Yeah.
And I think on the little models, you know, stuff like contrast paint and speed paint is very useful, or so I've been told.
Yeah.
On these big models, a lot of flat areas, and so
yeah, much more surface area.
yeah. It's more of airbrush and big rounds.
Yeah, I've definitely mostly used an airbrush to get things done, because you can mask things off on a large model pretty easily.
Yep.
So that does help. All right. Yeah. Not that I have a ton of experience. I've painted a handful of things. But yeah, it's been good. I mean, I think you're certainly going to get there. It looks good so far. I don't know if that's the factory paint or
this is the factory paint job that I have. The ones I've been painting are over on my painting desk over there.
looks terrible. It needs way more.
Okay.
Thanks.
I am optimistic that my paint job will be better than this.
Yeah.
But it will be much less durable than this. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. I have a couple of those toys, and I've been thinking about what to do with them. I still don't really know. Like, I really think that I would want to glue everything together and keep it in one place, just in a pose, just like a model. Because having it be posable just feels really weird to me. And even other action figures, like, I mean, the only reason I was even painting them was for like a friend was coming over, and he does like photography with action figures, like in action scenes, right? And they look really cool, and the things are blowing up and whatever, and then you Photoshop it. But other than that, like, I don't know why you'd want them to be posable.
It's cool. Like, it's cool because it's different and something new, but it is weird. It is weird. And the fact that it's posable also means, like, if you turn a joint really far in one direction, you'll realize that there's just completely unprimed plastic underneath. Bend it really far the other direction. Oh, there's unprimed plastic there, too. So there are challenges to painting an assembled Mini with a billion different joints on it. But, yeah, it's an interesting experience. I'm going to follow through. I've got 3 Space Marine action figures that I'm working on, and I am guessing at this point that when I'm done, I'll be like, okay, that was cool. Not gonna do that again, probably.
Yeah. But you did. You will have done it.
Yeah. And like you say, all these skills and experiences do add up, and I'll get something useful out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I got distracted by this dang cat here.
I mean, the cat's all over the place today.
Yeah. You had to be there. Okay.
I can hear it, so yeah.
What else we got, Casey?
I don't know. It's been real hot here. That's what I'm going to go with. It's been hot here. I had to put the AC in, which means having the window opened, although this year, instead of just taping cardboard to everything and shutting it down as much as possible to keep the bugs and lizards out, I actually just made a nice hole in the screen and taped around that. So I don't actually have to cover everything up. It's kind of actually smart now. I feel pretty good about it.
And how's the bugs and lizard situation doing?
Bugs are good. Lizards getting there. I mean, I haven't had any
lizards.
haven't had any major infestations in the hobby room this year so far. Okay. But it's early days. I have run into a couple of the spotted lizards out here that are I wouldn't say dangerous, but they're definitely aggressive. Okay. Real hungry.
And you just kind of see them like lining up outside your hobby area, looking for their chance.
Open the door, and they're there.
Oh,
they're staring. I mean, they're waiting for bugs. Like, man, like no joke, outside my hobby door, twice so far. This is in 2 weeks, right? The last 2 weeks. Open the door, walk out. A lizard just bolts across in front of the door, and there just happens to be like a bee on the ground. Both times it was a bee, and I don't know why. And these lizards just snatched that bee right up and ate it.
Dang.
Like right in front of me. It's ridiculous.
Delicious. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I got turkeys where I live.
All right.
Just walking down the road and like doing the gobbling thing. They got their feathers all out and gobble, 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 and these cats are watching them. So got that going for me.
All right.
Saw a possum the other day. That's pretty good.
All right, a possum. Yeah. That's pretty good.
I don't see many lizards around here. Every once in a while a snake, but like not lizards.
A dangerous snake too. Yeah.
Not a dangerous snake.
No, we got some. Not
dangerous. A smart snake either. It's like, I'm mowing the lawn here. Get out of the way, snake. Like,
snake's gonna get.
What are you doing?
Jumped, yeah. No. These snakes. These snakes out here. Yeah, we're not gonna mess with those.
Yeah, this is the content you crave.
Yeah, the snake and lizard update. That's what a lizard watch.
Lizard watch. 2024.
Last year, I had a couple of visitors who stayed in my office for several months.
I heard about that. Yeah,
they were good. They were big. Eventually, I caught them and put them outside again. But this year, I feel like it's going to be a little different because I did remodel the hobby space. Right, I lost a one-car garage of hobby space, and we closed up the garage door. So there isn't a garage door anymore. It's just a normal wall with the like French doors. So I don't think I'll have as many lizard issues in the actual hobby space. And last year, man, spiders. So many spiders. Like just a stupid amount of spiders. And I'm really hoping that this year is not the same, because I would like reach for my wet palette and there'd be like an 1.5 inch wide friggin' spider sitting behind it as I grabbed it. Just freak me out, man. Every time.
Casey?
Yeah.
The podcast doesn't have to be a full hour. It doesn't. Like, we don't have to. No.
I'm not trying to make it an hour. I'm trying to tell you about this spider lizard problem.
I understand.
I
understand.
I know. I'm just trying to just give you a glimpse into my my life, you know. This is what it's like to hobby where I am currently. I got one of the best orc models ever made, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's the giant 4-armed mech that has a little orc that his head pops out the top. And I got sent this with a set of a bunch of models, including the 2nd edition Warlord Gazgul Thraka, the metal one.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been talking about it for a couple years, and somebody was like, "Hey, man, like I just have one that it's been in the box since it came out, and it's not going anywhere." And I was not expecting the Rogue Trader 1st edition orcs to come with it.
That's exciting.
So
that's really cool.
Very, very generous fellow. Yeah. He wrote me a letter.
I pass along my thanks as well. I want to see Casey get to those one day.
Yeah. Oh, and an ornithopter, like the metal ornithopter. Doug sent those. Very, very
cool.
generous. Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm super excited. Even almost too excited because I wanna get to them, but they also look really cool already. And I don't want to like mess them up. So I'm probably gonna wait for October on those. Like actually gonna like set them aside and start doing something now in preparation, because October is the month for me to be doing things with these models. Not now.
Not now.
You can't force it.
That's right. That's right.
Just listening to the cat. Anyways, thank you again for joining us on another episode of Paint Bravely. If you enjoyed this podcast, please help us out by leaving us a review on iTunes, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and sharing this message with your hobby friends. And as always, we appreciate each and every one of you for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Talk to you next time.